Good morning, everyone. Today we are talking about something that I know many of you have been seeing pop up all over Southern Maryland and the Washington, D.C. metro area. These brand new rental home communities being built everywhere. They look beautiful, they look modern, they feel like you're walking through a model home. But here's the question: are they really solving the affordable housing issue? Are they simply creating another high-priced rental option? Let's talk about it. The rise of build-to-rent communities. Across areas like Accokeek, Waldorf, Upper Marlboro, and beyond, we're seeing entire neighborhoods being developed specifically for renters. These are not apartments. These are full single-family homes and townhomes. They market them as luxury rental living, maintenance-free lifestyle, no down payment required, flexible lease options, and for some people, especially short-term residents, that may make sense. But here's what I want you to consider. If you are someone who plans to stay in this area for a long time, many of these homes are renting between $3,000 to $4,000 a month. Let that sit for a second. This is very close and sometimes equal or exceeds what a mortgage payment would be on a new construction home with today's builder incentives. The illusion of affordable, the marketing behind these communities often leans into the idea that there's a housing shortage and that rentals help bridge the affordability gap. But affordability isn't just about the monthly number. It's about long-term financial positioning. When you rent, you don't gain equity. You don't benefit from appreciation. You don't receive potential tax advantages of home ownership. You don't control future increasing in housing costs. You are funding someone else's investment. And in many cases, these corporate rental companies are institutional investors purchasing homes in bulk, creating competition for buyers who actually want to own. So when I hear this solves affordability, I have to respectfully push back, because if the monthly cost mirrors ownership and you walk away with nothing, what problem are we really solving? This message is for people who are renting at $3,000 plus per month, waiting for rates to drop to a magical number, concerned about upfront costs, nervous about the buying process, or simply unsure if now is the correct time. This message is just for you. Not the short-term renter relocating for 1 year, but the person planning to live in Southern Maryland long-term. Let's talk about builder incentives. Now here's where the conversation shifts, because while rental communities are rising, builders are aggressively competing for buyers. Right now, many new construction communities are offering interest rate buydowns from 4.99 to 5.5%, promotional rates depending on the week and the program, $20,000 plus in closing assistance, washer and dryer, blinds throughout, decks or finished basements, HOA incentives, and in some cases, nearly zero out-of-pocket scenarios. And when I say nearly zero out-of-pocket, I mean between builder closing help, lender credits, state or county grants, USDA eligibility in certain areas like Accokeek, there are buyers walking into homes with very minimal funds out of pocket. And that is not widely talked about. Grants and programs buyers overlook. Many fence sitters assume they need 20% down, perfect credit, or tens of thousands saved. That's simply not the case all the time. There are Maryland mortgage programs, first-time home buyer grants, down payment assistance options, county-specific assistance, and once again, USDA zero down financing in eligible areas. And when you layer that with builder incentives, it becomes a strategic conversation instead of an emotional one. But what about the rates, Lisa? I knew that was coming. Rates are higher than the ultra-low period we saw a few years ago. But here's the bigger perspective. People aren't waiting for rates anymore. They're adjusting, as you should, because rents have not dropped and rental renewals are increasing annually. With home ownership, you can refinance later, you can control your principal pay down, you can build equity, you can leverage appreciation. You can't refinance the lease. What's the cost of waiting? Let's play this out. If you rent at $3,500 per month, that's $42,000 a year. That's not anything to sneeze at. In 3 years, that's $126,000. Gone. No equity, no tax advantages, no asset. Now imagine if even a portion of that had gone toward principal reduction and appreciation in a growing market like Southern Maryland. That is the part no one breaks down clearly. Who benefits the most from buying now? Move-up buyers, first-time home buyers with using assistance, buyers planning to stay at least 3 to 5 years, the buyers who value stability, and especially buyers in Accokeek, Waldorf, White Plains, Upper Marlboro, Prince George's County, Charles County, because development continues, infrastructure continues, and long-term growth is still happening. The emotional side of ownership, beyond numbers, there's something else. Ownership provides stability, freedom to customize, pride, and legacy. You're not asking permission to hang artwork. You're not concerned about lease renewal. You're not worried about corporate policy changes. And if you are a move-up buyer, you're not moving twice. We create a strategy to sell and buy simultaneously so you transition smoothly into your next level of living. My honest perspective. Now, let me be clear. Renting is not wrong. There are seasons where renting makes perfect sense, but renting at ownership level pricing with long-term intentions to stay, that deserves a deeper conversation, especially when builder incentives are quietly very strong right now, especially when grants are underutilized, especially when people assume that they cannot qualify without ever exploring the options. This is what I tell my clients. I don't push anyone into buying. What I do is build a plan. We look at your income, your savings, your timeline, your comfort level, your long-term goals. And then we compare, not emotionally, strategically, because peace of mind doesn't come from hype. It comes from clarity. The bottom line in all of this, these emerging rental communities are absolutely beautiful, but they are investments for someone else. If you're going to stay here, if you're paying premium rent, if you want long-term growth, you owe it to yourself to at least explore ownership, especially in a market where builders are negotiating, incentives are real, and competition isn't as aggressive as peak frenzy periods. This may actually be the window smart buyers look back on and say, I'm glad I moved when others were hesitant. My final thoughts on all of this. If you're on the fence, here's what I encourage you to do. Don't decide based on fear. Don't decide based on headlines. Don't assume you need massive savings. Don't assume it's out of your reach. Have a conversation. Let's run real numbers. Let's compare rent versus buy for your specific situation. Let's see what incentives apply to you. Because sometimes the biggest difference between renting and owning is simply information. And I'm here to make sure you have it. If you're in Southern Maryland or the Washington, D.C. metro area and want to explore your options, reach out. That's what we're here for. We will build a plan that makes sense for you, whether that's now, 6 months from now, or a year from now. But at least you'll know. And knowing brings confidence. I almost say knowing is half the battle. You remember that G.I. Joe quote? You guys have a great one.